Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the great state of Texas. More specifically, we're on our way out of the great state of Texas. We are headed out to the great state of California. It's been a wonderful weekend here in Texas, visiting some of these haunts. We got theme park haunts, SeaWorld, 2 Six Flags, and the House of Torment, a standalone haunt, and had a great time at everyone. I love the Halloween season. I love visiting different haunts. I think people in the haunt industry are some of my favorite people. The amount of passion that they show for what they do is just definitely something that I personally admire and can relate to. So it's always a big part of my year during this season. Spooky season, I like to call it. Halloween season works. A lot of people complain Halloween should not start in September. Halloween is a single day. I don't believe Halloween is a single day. Matter of fact, a lot of times on Halloween I don't do anything. But I consider Halloween to be more of a season, more of a state of mind. I don't mind that the Halloween stuff shows up in the stores in July. It's a good vibe. It's a fun vibe, and it gets you excited. I enjoy the summers quite a bit. The traveling, everything's open, so much fun to see, and but then once I've been running ragged for the summer. It's hot, long days, going to theme parks, doing crazy cross-country road trips, and the time comes where you need to cool things down a little bit. Go out at night a little bit where it's a little bit cooler to enjoy some of the spookier things in life, and that's what we're going to continue doing. Heading out to California to visit some of my favorite events of the year. We're going to be going to, the plan is, of course, when I say plans, it's never 100%. Things can always happen. Things could always thwart my plans. But the plan is to go out to California. We're going to do opening night of Not Scary Farm. Opening night, Dark Harbor. Not opening night, Halloween Horror Nights. That's been open for a few weeks now. But I love Halloween Horror Nights. So good. I'm looking forward to checking it out. So we're gonna be headed out that way. Now this is a pull-off picnic area here in Texas. Picnic areas not to be confused with rest stops, because there's no bathrooms. This is where you pull off and you have yourself a picnic. There's a picnic table over there. Although I can't say this is something I've actually encountered in real life, but it makes me nervous. When there is no rest area and people are traveling, they have to go to the bathroom really bad, number one. Number two, and they pull off here and it's, oh no, there's no bathroom. So I'm not saying this looks very clean actually, but it always makes me nervous that people are probably using the bathroom all over the place here, because there are no facilities. And as much as I love these Halloween events, they can be a little taxing on the body, running around in the dark, screaming. My voice is fine, although sometimes when I scream a lot, I get this pain right here in the back of my head that worries me. I don't know, it just caused from screaming. But yeah, it is. It can be exhausting, and the schedule that I keep this tiny time of year. Let's not kid ourselves. The schedule I've been keeping for the past couple years has been absolutely insane. It is. So it's the last weekend. It's been going to haunts in the evening, going to haunted events, editing the video. Some of the video is very long. I don't want to get into the weeds on it, but the haunt videos are some of the hardest videos to edit, because you have just like a big piece of footage, like of going through the house. You have to carefully chop that up And yeah, and then you know, you get up the next day, you travel, or if you're lucky enough to have the same hotel, sometimes end up sleeping in because you're out so late, and then you get up, wash, rinse, repeat, and do it again. And yeah, that's what it's been like for Halloween, but that's what it's been like for over a year now on this channel. I have been traveling nonstop. I have been, a lot of it is get up, drive, film, edit, sleep. No time for anything else. No time for any real downtime. I've got to the point where I don't even really stop at restaurants because the you know, I want to go through fast food or something like that because you just don't have time. Don't have time to sit in a restaurant. Sometimes I don't even have time to think. Sometimes I jot down a plan and I just do it. I don't think about it. I just do it. Yeah, maybe not the best way to handle things, but and I recognize it. I want everyone to know I recognize this. It's you know, Jen has been so supportive of me reaching my goals, doing the things that I want to do, creating this channel the way I want to create it, and that's what I've been doing, and I've been having a great time. You know, when I started this channel, it was 10 years ago. I was 10 years younger, and I was doing similar things back then. Traveling. I was actually, now I try to film one video a day. Back then, I think my record, I filmed 7 videos in one day. Now, nothing could be said about the quality of those videos that I created back then. Probably not up to the quality of the videos I make now. I take pride in what I do. Some people might be shocked to hear that. Man, this Texas sun is pretty sweltering. I'm gonna head over here under the covered area. Got the picnic area here where we can talk in a little bit cooler weather. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm to the point now, and this year there's been so many landmarks. There's been so much of my bucket list. I have a bottomless bucket list, but there's so much of my bucket list that I have crossed off this year. There's been a lot of things that have just been percolating for years that I've been able to accomplish. I visited the 2 big ones. I visited, let me show my hat here. I visited Alaska and Hawaii. These have been goals since way back. They seemed unattainable, mostly because of expense, of price. Just didn't think I could afford to go, but I just decided this was the year. I was gonna split it in 2 years, do Hawaii this year and Alaska the next. Had to scramble to change plans. I had an unfortunate loss in my family, you know, where my stepfather passed away. That put everything up in the air. And after when I left the funeral, when I left seeing my family, I was like, let's just do it. Let's just do Alaska. The original plan was to try to do all the mainland state fairs, but then I got back and I just did them anyways. I was like, I can do this. I can do 6 fairs across the country in 7 days. Why not? Why not? And that was some of the most intense traveling I've ever done in my life. So we were counting here. I visited the 2 states that I've been putting off. The Buoy to Buoy Route 1 road trip is something I've been planning for years. The Pacific Coast Highway trip is something I've been planning for years. The state fair is something that started as a joke, but I've been working on, you know, for the past 7, 8, 9 years. We got 1 state fair left. Yeah, it's been crazy how much I've managed to do this year. But one thing I've not managed to do is spend a lot of time at home. And it's been great. It's been great having Jen be able to come out and see me in a lot of places, to fly out. You know, my son, my daughter, you know, they have, you know, they're adults. They're both grown adults now. They have I keep in touch with both of them, but they have their own things going on. I've got a chance to see them. I saw them at the family gathering, but I would say I'm getting homesick. I would say really bad the last couple days. I've been getting homesick for my home. Usually it was just homesick for Jen. Just I miss Jen, and Jen would come out and see me, and I'd enjoy seeing her. But home. That's been an abstract concept. Without getting too far, into the weeds or talking about personal stuff. There was difficult years with the divorce. Years where maybe I didn't feel very comfortable at home. But I do feel comfortable at home now. And man, I'd like to be home. It's funny how this works. It's funny. I make my own schedule. I could be home right now if I wanted to. But I don't know. I have this drive in me. All these things I want to do that I'm afraid I'll never get to do. But this year, accomplished all these goals that I set out. So maybe it's time to rethink how I approach this channel. Yeah, so the semis pulling off, taking little breaks here. I think that's what this is for, is the semis taking a rest, or even a car. Come take a rest here. You can't use the bathroom, but you could take a rest. So San Antonio is about 21 hours from California. Man, you don't have a full respect of how much distance changes when you get out to the western part of the country. On the East Coast, it's like New York, Boston, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York City. It's all like within an hour or two of each other. Here, you just long bits of driving with really nothing in between. And West Texas is pretty wide open. It's just not, there's no big cities, just a lot of small towns. I love small towns, but there's not a lot of roadside attractions, not a lot of tourist stops in these towns. These are places in the country where people live, and people live their lives. It's not necessarily, where there's a lot of zany theme parks and roadside attractions. So, sometimes you do have to buckle in and just drive. You can always dig deep and find cool stuff. There's cool stuff everywhere. But especially like when you're on a time frame, like when you have to be in California in 3 days, that limits the amount of time you can take wandering about small towns looking for hidden gems. So unfortunately, I think we're gonna kind of blast through West Texas and head into New Mexico. I do want to film some things on the way. There's some things I wanted to stop and check out along the way. I think today is going to be mostly driving, mostly trying to make my way through western Texas. Looks like there's some vultures circling. Hopefully they don't eat my corpse. I wanted to talk again about working hard versus working smart. And is my past job, my past life as a CPS worker, a Child Protective Services worker, I tried to work really smart. I would come in every day. I would make 3 lists. A list of phone calls I needed to make, a list of home visits I needed to make, and then a miscellaneous list, things I needed to do, request records, things like that. I was highly efficient. I was known to be able to handle more cases than the average CPS worker. And even they knew I was someone that they could rely on to help other people. Other people worked very, very hard, but sometimes didn't make a lot of progress. So I was very proud of what I did in CPS. I try not to be bitter about kind of being bullied out of my job, but that's just how life works. When you work for other people, you're only as valuable as you are to them in the moment. You can give 10 years of work, and then the day that you start to get on someone's nerves may be the day where, not necessarily get fired, but kind of like get the feeling maybe I'm not welcome here as much as I once was. But I don't want to get too far in the weeds on that or rehash that. The thing is, I worked hard. I worked smart, not hard. I worked hard, but I worked smart so I didn't have to work harder. Here on YouTube, I don't work smart. I work hard. I have things I want to do, and I don't let anything stop me in doing those things. If there's something 12 hours away that I want to do, I will do it. I will do it. I don't care if I have to drive 8 hours in a day or even 12 hours in a day. I will go and do that. This never was supposed to be a business venture. This channel was supposed to be documenting the things I wanted to see. And when it started out, it was all about me seeing the things that I could afford to see. If I could go on a 2-day road trip, if I could, early on, it was what I could do without having to rent a hotel room, because affording a hotel room for the purpose of making videos was pretty far-fetched. My first real road trip, I only stayed in hotels 50% of the time. The rest of the time I stayed in my car. So I have been pushing myself really hard to do these things that I want to do. And been pushing myself really hard recently to see all these haunted houses, haunted events that I really want to see. And I've heard the criticism before, you know, why do you complain? You know, you don't have to do this. No one's asking you to do this. No one's making you do this. And I don't know. I'd like to think I'm not just complaining. More just being honest. Being honest that there is an upside and a downside. I consider myself to be unbelievably lucky, unbelievably blessed to be able to do something I love. And it's just, when you're your own boss and you are doing something you love, I think you do have a tendency to push yourself harder and harder than you would. You know, if you're punching a time clock, you want to do a good job, you want to make your boss happy. And when you work for yourself, you also want to make your boss happy. But my boss is myself. So man, over the years, I've pushed myself so hard. I think the fact, you know, I just got back. I have not been home. I honestly can't tell you which month I was home last. Man, I'm gonna think about that. I think I was home June? No, not June. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think maybe June. I do so much stuff that my memory is not working with me anymore. I used to have that sharp memory, sharp like a tack. But I do so many things. I go to so many things every day. My memory, it's literally starting to fail me. Where I think back, what did I do yesterday? What did I do 3 days ago? And my brain is just like a dim bulb. It doesn't know. It doesn't remember. Watch the traffic speed by. Where do you think all those people are going? Are they going to California for Halloween? And you know, for a long time, I just think it worked. It worked. I was so excited. I loved getting out there. Didn't mind driving. Didn't mind hopping in the car, driving 8 hours, sleeping, you know, making sure I get my 8 hours of sleep, and then getting up and going to a theme park when it was 92 degrees outside, just doing it, just doing what I want to do. Go out in the rain, just don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to make it happen. I drive out somewhere far from home, find out I missed something. Months later, I'm back there because I wanted to see the thing I missed. I'm unhinged, folks. I'm unhinged. I want to see these things so much. But you know what? A lot of things are changing. First of all, like I mentioned earlier, I've done a lot of it. I had these goals. I wanted to visit every state. I wanted to do these coastal road trips. I wanted to do all these state fairs. And most of these goals are completed or almost completed. It gives me a weird feeling inside. You know, a lot of times I I do keep myself rolling with these side quests. There was times I visit every Ripley's, and believe it or not, I accomplished that goal. Visit every wax museum in the country, completed that. Ride every dark ride in the country, pretty close to that, I think. I'm trying to maybe I've already accomplished it. Depends on what's actually open and what's been closed down. But yeah, these are the things that fueled me, and I guess I have less of them now. Less things that I just had to, hard and fast. I'm going to do these things. So what do I do now? A couple things I'm just thinking. I'm just brainstorming here, just talking out loud. I don't feel like there's any shortage of things that I can do in the U.S. A couple things this year. I discovered there's chunks, missing pieces of this country that I haven't visited, and that's one focus I want to have, is kind of these things that I've missed. These things that are the in between things. I want to do those things, but we get back to the issue of like how I conduct myself and how I do these travels, and it may not be sustainable anymore. I am older. I am over 10 years older than when I started this channel. My health is good for the most part. My health is good, but I'm getting older. I'm out of, I keep active. I eat better than I do. There's points on this channel where I was much heavier. I think I was at least 25 pounds heavier than I am now during different points. I lost a lot of weight a few years ago. Gained about half of it back. Try to make good decisions. Don't always make good decisions. A lot of that's depending on how busy I am. I tend to, if I push myself when I'm going, don't have time to stop at Walmart or grocery store, and that's when I end up going through a lot of drive-through, a lot of junk, garbage food, which I need to do better. I do need to do better on that. But I don't know. I'm thinking there's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way to travel, to see things without having to do so much to myself physically and mentally in between. Because I think physically is one thing, you can always recover, I guess. Just being less sharp mentally bothers me, because I go on these great trips and I want to remember them, and sometimes I feel there's so much happens, there's so much driving, there's many different small things that I don't always remember everything that happens. I can go back and jog my memory, but I used to have a really good memory, so it's that sort of thing that bothers me. So, yeah. For the past couple years, I've always tried to think of a theme for the channel. We had it was 3 years ago, we had the Summer of Carousels. I retroactively dubbed the year before the Year of Claw Machines. Last year was the Year of the Pressed Penny, which somehow I feel like I'm still on. And then this year was the Year of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where I focused on transportation, did more plane rides than I've ever done, more train rides than I've ever done, and somehow even more automobile rides than I've ever done. But I was thinking, what's next year going to be like? What's next year look like? I'm again, at this point, I'm not even sure. But I was thinking a lot. My trip to Hawaii really gave me a lot to think about. And part of that is the idea of aloha. Now, I think a lot of people think aloha is a greeting, and in some ways it is. But aloha is also just kind of like a life philosophy. It's about patience. It's about taking things as they come, to not worry yourself to death. And I've been living my life in exact contradiction to the concept of aloha over the past few years of my life. And I'd like to think that since visiting Hawaii, I have embraced Aloha more, but clearly given my schedule, you know, trying to make it to California in 3 days, fitting in all the haunts in Texas, as much fun as I had, that's not a lot. That's not really Aloha. So I was thinking, in this new year, and this is just me thinking out loud, this is not me making a promise, what about the year of Aloha? Calling it that might be confusing, because I think most people associate that word with Hawaii, but maybe a year we're just taking things slower, and not like trying to create less content or use an excuse to make lazy content, because I really care about this video, these videos, and I was never in this for the money, and I think some people, a small percentage, because I think most people that do what I do have a lot of passion for what they do, but occasionally you'll see people that will rest on their laurels. They'll just try to find a way to do the least amount of effort to make the most amount of vlog. And because it's a job, because it is a job. What I do is a job, and I don't ever want to become that. I don't want to ever become like I'm punching a time clock here, like I'm doing stuff because the algorithm tells me that it makes the most money. If I wanted to make money, if money was the main idea on this channel, I wouldn't go traveling all over the place. I would be focusing on Pigeon Forge. I would be focusing on Florida, the theme parks. You know, that's what gets the best views on this channel, is theme park related content. But I never wanted to be just theme parks. I never wanted to be theme parks. I always wanted it. And I don't want you guys to think about that I'm calling anyone out, because I actually do not have, when I said people that phone it in, I'm not talking about anyone specific, because all my friends and all the people I associate with personally are people that work hard at this and do care. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to relate to them. But I don't want to be someone who just does this. Just becomes a boring. I don't want to take the best job in the world and turn it into just another job. How sad is that? But at the same time, I needed to turn things down a few notches. Well, for one, for my health, for my sanity, for my ability to just live somewhat of a normal life, to be able to live in my own home a significant amount of time during the year. But also just maybe I could make better content if I took more time. Sometimes I end up rushing when I don't need to rush. Like say I've got like one thing I want to do, like one museum, and I'm like, that's a good thing, I want to do that, but you know what, I don't know if that museum is big enough to make a long video, so maybe I'll do 2 museums, and then maybe I'll stop at a few smaller roadside attractions along the way. And the funny thing is, I go to the first museum, the one that I really wanted to go to, more than the others, and I rushed through it because I got these other things I got to do, when I could have just stayed there and probably made better content if I had just focused on that one instead of trying to fit a million things into one video. Again, I'm brainstorming here. I'd love feedback from you guys. What do you guys like? What do you guys think would be a good direction for this channel? I feel this year's been great, in that it's been like it's the year of planes, trains, and automobiles, but it's kind of been the year of emptying my bucket list. And there's a certain freedom to emptying your bucket list. Hopefully not a freedom to like kick the bucket, but a freedom nonetheless. Now, there's probably stuff I shouldn't even be talking about, but it's been a rough couple days here in America, here in the United States. of America. One thing I just hated over the past so many years, feels like it's been a long time now, feels like it's been over a decade of, man, people are at each other's throats in this country. People have dug really deep into their political beliefs. People are very angry, very, very angry. And I've talked about this before on my channel. This is not a political channel, and I want this to remain not a political channel. And I want everyone to feel like they're welcome here. Everyone to feel like they're welcome to come and enjoy the channel. This isn't about politics. This is about having fun. The American roadsides, traveling this country, this amazing country that we have. And, you know, maybe a little group, you can form a little group, a little, you know, in the comments section. You know, we're all people that are interested in the same thing, interested in travel. Some people, you know, different. Some people like haunts. Some people like amusement parks. Some people like roadside attractions. Some people just like traveling in my comment section. And I take pride in fostering a very diverse audience. I feel like I've been lucky. People of all walks of life, all political beliefs, all religious beliefs that I've met that are appreciative of the channel, and that means a lot to me because I want this to be for everyone. But you know what? It gets hard. It gets hard. I have been to every state in this country, every one of the United States. I've traveled around. I've met people all over the country, and I think every place is beautiful. Every place is wonderful. Every state is wonderful and has its own unique thing. People always want me to get me to say what's the worst state, but I don't think there is a worst state because every state has value. Every state has something cool, something unique, something that's specific to that state that makes it unique to that state and makes it a unique piece of the puzzle when it comes to the United States. So I try to keep politics completely out of it, but oh man, a lot of people don't. In this channel where I don't talk about politics, where I don't talk about things like that, I get partisan politics in my comment section, in my live stream. It's like, you know, comments like, you know, oh, you shouldn't go to California. They're all a bunch of crazy liberals out there. Or you shouldn't go to Texas because they're all a bunch of crazy conservatives down there. And it's like, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to see people by color. I don't want to see a red person or a blue person. I think every person has their own journey, and every person has a valid claim to seek out the happiness in their lives. And I made a comment on Facebook about, it was a simple comment about the recent shooting, and I simply said, and it's something I believe, and I can stand by it, that there's never an excuse for political violence. And a lot of people agreed with me. A lot of people on both sides agreed with me. A lot of people used this man's death as an opportunity to attack people that were politically opposed to him. A lot of people in the comment section made comments about how this person may have deserved what was coming to them. I cannot agree with that. I think free speech is valuable, and I think, think about it the other way. Have some empathy. Think, if someone that you believed in, someone you cared about, was shot, how would that make you feel? Because there's no, it could be someone else next. It could be a person that you agree with next. And it just, the comment section made me so sad, just genuinely sad, that I deleted the post. and I want to be clear now. I'm not here to talk about my beliefs. I think political violence is unacceptable. I think it was unacceptable that this man Charlie Kirk, who I was not even very familiar with who he was, when he was shot, when when the Minnesota lawmakers were shot, when Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked by a hammer, and you can go on and on, and whatever you believe, it's not one side, and it's not rational people. Anyone who would kill or harm someone because of politics is a deranged outlier. Like, please don't. Your neighbor may vote for you, but he didn't go and he didn't do anything like that. Like, love your neighbor, even if they disagree with you. Talk to people that disagree with you. And who knows? The only time you're ever going to change someone's mind is if you talk to them with respect and kindness. I probably made you all mad just saying that, but sometimes it's hard. I am, a semi-public figure. I have a voice. I have a platform that I can speak out on, and I try to make that a place where people can get away from politics, because there's so many people spouting about politics now that I want my channel to be where people don't spout about politics. I would really appreciate it if you're watching this. I don't want that in my comment section. I've been doing a lot of blocking over the past few days. I just don't want divisive politics. If you wanted to do a discussion, that's fine, but you hear just people just repeating. It's just like catchphrase. It's just like puppetry. It's just people just repeating what they've heard without using any critical thought or media literacy. And just, have your own opinion. Don't believe something because someone else tells you to believe it. Do your own research. If you agree, if there's one person out there, a politician, a pundit, if there's someone out there and you agree with them 100% of the time, I would look in yourself and say, I shouldn't agree with anyone 100% of the time. I should have my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own beliefs that I can come up with on my own. And sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Shouldn't even be talking about this. Please be kind to each other. Please. And sometimes you get tempted. Like I said, I have a platform here on YouTube. I could talk about politics all day, and I would probably no one would care, and probably people would stop watching. Someone told me once, a good friend of mine told me once, no one wants to hear your political opinion. They want to see the monkey dance. And I'm happy to be that monkey, and I'm happy to dance for you. But man, let's just, I don't know. I've been begging for years. Like, I wish people would listen to me to some degree, or at least take what I say into consideration. We're so much better than this. This is, I believe this has what it needs to be the best country in the world. And there's a lot of bad stuff, a lot of bad history here. There's slavery, there's what we did to the Native Americans. I don't make excuses for that. But what I do appreciate is what a rich culture we have here. What a rich experience we have here in America. And we should enjoy this together, not as enemies, not as red and blue or gray and blue, but as a national family. And you probably think I'm some hippie here talking nonsense, but man, I was born in different times, the 80s, the 90s. We had different opinions, and it was okay. My grandfather, who I loved, had the exact opposite political opinions as me, and I didn't argue with him. I just loved him for the good parts of who he was. Or not even the good. I'm not saying he was bad because he was different than me political. But the parts that I admired about him overweighed the parts that I didn't like. And I think almost everybody, not everybody, but almost everybody has redeeming qualities, has good things about them. Not everyone is defined by their political beliefs. So yeah. I love you, America, and I love all of you watching. I just wish we could get along. Now, one thing that just won't go away in the comments section, and that I've had to just start deleting comments, this whole Gulf of Mexico thing, which really got me mad. It's got me mad, because I feel like it's forcing people to make a political statement when you're just talking about a big body of water. I've said before on this channel, and I'll say it again, I've always called it the Gulf of Mexico. I think a lot of people call it the Gulf of Mexico. It's been called the Gulf of Mexico for 500 years. Most people in the United States call it the Gulf of Mexico. Everyone internationally calls it the Gulf of Mexico. I have no problem with anyone out there calling it something else, but I choose to call it the Gulf of Mexico. I've used the example, the Sears Tower. I still call it the Sears Tower. It's been the Willis Tower for like 15 years. I feel like language is not something that can be enforced. You can't make a law or a rule that everyone has to call something something. People are going to call something what they're used to calling it. And that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter. You know, Denali, people call it Denali, even though at one point they tried to rename it Mount McKinley. It's about the people that live there, about the people that exist there, and about what they call it. And I've been to the Gulf of Mexico more times than I can count. I'm curious to the people that want to criticize what I call it, how many of them have actually been to the Gulf of Mexico. And it injects politics. So if I said the Gulf of America, then another section of my audience would feel like, oh, well, he's picking one side. And because I call it the Gulf of America, people are assuming that I'm picking another side. I'm calling it what I've always called it. It doesn't have anything to do with politics. I do resent that it has been turned into a political issue. It's the silliest, dumbest thing ever, because I'm just calling it what it's called. And again, call it what you want. I don't care. But I take offense when someone tells me here on my channel what I have to call something. I can call things anything I want. I can call that truck over there, I can call that Jimmy the Truck, but that's probably not its name. And yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But seriously, get lost. I don't care. Don't tell me what I need to call things. Don't scold me. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to call things, because I am not an idiot. I know what it's called. I know what I call it, and I am going to call it what I call it. All right. So that's my political rant. And while I'm on here, you know, maybe I'm alienating people. Maybe I'm losing subscribers as I speak. But I want to make something perfectly clear here, because this is something that I'm not compromising on, something that I'm not keeping my mouth shut about. I believe, you know, this country, everyone has a right to happiness. It's written right in the official documents. And I support LGBT plus people. I support all people, every person out there, to live their life. If you want to live, you know, what you consider a traditional life, you know, with a nuclear family and, you know, and those values, I think that's fine. But I think that gay people, trans people, they deserve the right to live their lives to the fullest without being harassed, without having any sort of rights stripped away from them. You know, I'll be honest, I have a lot of friends that are gay and or trans. I have a lot of family members who are gay and or trans, and I feel like I would be a really crappy friend and a really crappy family member if I just said that that was something that didn't matter to me. So, I don't know. Also, I don't like racism. Did I mention that? I don't like racism. So please, keep racism away from this channel. Keep homophobia away from this channel. Keep anti-trans. We're all Americans. We're all in this together. I'm not knocking anyone else with my support of these people. I support everyone who wants to live their life the way they want to live it without hurting other people. And by living as a gay person, by living as a trans person, you're not hurting anyone. And I think that's all I have to say about that. If you are gay, if you are trans, and you watch these videos, know that I support your right to be the best you that you can be, and I don't think anyone can decide who is the best you, the best me, than the person themselves. You know, I have lived a non-traditional life in the sense that, you know, I travel. I don't live in a house every day of the year. You know, some people think me and Jen's relationship is strange because we spend so much time apart, but we have found a relationship that works for the both of us. You know, she is my best friend. She is my biggest cheerleader, and I'm her biggest cheerleader. And in fact, just I want to let everyone know, I get a lot of questions. Where's Jen? What's Jen been up to? Jen, a good way to follow Jen and what she's been doing is go to her YouTube channel, Jenny Penny. She just went on a great road trip to Myrtle Beach. She had a lot of fun. Did her solo road trip, which I'm so proud of her, and I think she did a great job. So go over to Jenny Penny, check out those videos if you would like to know what she's up to and see some of the cool content she's been creating. Man, I just, you know, it's been a tense weekend, and it all boils down to one thing for me: empathy. That you can see others that are different than you. You can understand, that you can have sympathy for people, and understanding that even though a person's lifestyle choices aren't the choices that you would make for yourself, that they're okay and they deserve a right to be happy. Empathy is one of the most important things in my life, and at no point, it's part of my code, part of what I live by. And I think if everyone had a lot more empathy, we would not be in the situation we are in. I love this country so much, and it makes me sad. It breaks my heart to see this much division and anger. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. I am going to try to do better in my life, to be a better person, a kinder person, a more patient person, and maybe some of you may try to do the same thing, and I appreciate that. But I need to get to California. It is a long way away. It has got 20 hours. I need to get in my car and drive the speed limit through West Texas and make my way to California. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, and until next time, this one's in the bag.